Hey there, welcome back. For today's video, I'm going to take you on our very short trip up to Pittsburgh. My husband is from there, his whole family is there, so we just went up to actually pick up his mom to bring her back. She's been with us for the last week. It was a very short trip. We drove up Thursday afternoon, we got there Thursday night, and we spent the Friday with his family, and then Saturday we had to ourselves to, do some little touristy things, and then we left on Sunday. So it was a very quick trip, but we had a great time, and I really want to share it with you. I'm not used to doing travel vlogs, but I would really like to start getting into them, so I hope you will bear with me as I get my legs on doing some of these travel vlogs. So let's head on up to Pittsburgh. I absolutely adore Pittsburgh. And I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that my husband's from there, his family's there. But I just remember the very first time I visited there, it forced me to love it. It's such a great city. It's really beautiful. The people are amazing. There's so much art and culture and so many things to do there. There's parks, there's museums. It's just such a charming and delightful city. People are really down to earth. They're very kind. They're very nice. And I just absolutely love it. And I always want to share my love of Pittsburgh with everybody. No trip to Pittsburgh is complete without visiting the Strip District. And get your minds out of the gutter, it's not what you think. The Strip District is about a half-mile long shopping district that is chock full of ethnic groceries, produce stands, meat and fish stalls, and sidewalk vendors. The Strip District emerged as Pittsburgh's wholesale produce district in about the early 1900s when the Pennsylvania Railroad relocated its warehouses just a couple blocks east of downtown. And it's really just kind of it's created this kind of strip mall of sorts of so many different kinds of shops, and they're all local, and it's just such a great place to get a really good feel for Pittsburgh. Whenever we come to Pittsburgh, we always have to stop at Presto George to get some coffee. They have an amazing assortment of coffee, of tea, and they even have their own roaster in the back. The staff has always been super fun, nice, and incredibly knowledgeable. Will heard about this event early in the morning on Saturday, and it sounded really fun. We really wanted to go. It was in the middle of downtown inside a parking garage, and it was just a flea market. And it really reminded us of a couple of flea markets that we went to in Germany and in France, and we had such a great time. We found some really great items and met some fantastic people. And I don't know about you, but any flea market is not complete without a drag show. Now, admittedly, this time we did not eat our way through Pittsburgh, but there was one thing that Will absolutely had to have when we were there, and that was Mike and Tony's gyros. We went to the shop in the South Side and took it down to a little park down the road to savor it. This was my first time experiencing Mike and Tony's gyros, and it was as amazing as advertised. Another must-have is Paige's ice cream. It's located under a freeway, and it is so good. Everything I've had there has been amazing. This time I decided to get the apple dumpling sundae. Look at that, so decadent. Okay, you might think this is really strange, but this is my favorite tunnel. The very first time I had visited Pittsburgh, we were still living in California. I hadn't really spent any time on the East Coast, and I was not familiar really with tunnels. I hadn't experienced a lot of tunnels in my life. And so the very first time we went, we were on the other side of the mountain, and I think it was around dusk when we were going, and we just went through the tunnel, and it hit me so hard. I almost started to cry at how stunningly beautiful when you come out of this tunnel. You go in on one side, you have all the trees and everything, and it kind of, it's very, not rural, but there's no city right there. You go through the tunnel and it just hits you. The city is right there in front of you. You go over this beautiful bridge, and so I have called it the ta-da tunnel, because that is exactly what it feels like every time I go through this. And I have to say it when we go through the tunnel, and I know it's probably not going to come across on video as well, and I'd love to get this shot when it's dusk or at nighttime, because Pittsburgh is gorgeous at night as well. But I hope you enjoy it anyway. So I have wanted to take a ride on one of these inclines for a while now, but for one reason or another, we just never did. But I really wanted to make sure that we did it this time. Much to my husband's chagrin. He really wasn't real happy about going, but for me, he did it, and he was a trooper. So Pittsburgh's a pretty hilly place. And so in the mid-1800s, they built these funiculars or inclines to traverse these really steep hillsides. The earliest inclines were used exclusively for moving coal from the mining operations along Coal Hill to the factories below. Later, they became a really popular alternative for transporting passengers and wagons and freight up and down the hills. The cars are pulled up and lowered using a system of cables and pulleys powered by large steam engines located in the upper stations. Of the 23 inclines, only 2 remain: the historic Monongahela and the Duquesne Incline. And we decided to ride the Duquesne Incline. We started down at the bottom, went up to the top, and then came right back down. addition to the car bazaar, of course, our trip has to include some antique shopping. On our way up to Pittsburgh in Hancock, Maryland, I saw a roadside that said, Buddy Lou's eats, drinks, and antiques. So, I mean, of course, we had to pull off the road and go check this out. I am fascinated by these small town antique shops. This one was really unique. It has a restaurant on the first floor, and a little ice cream parlor, and then an antique shop down below. And then on the way home, we stopped in Ligonier and stopped at Graham's Antique Mall. I absolutely love these antique malls. They're usually pretty big, and each stall or each booth is completely unique. It's, every dealer has their own style and carries different things, but we did find some really fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little trip to Pittsburgh, and I don't know, maybe it inspired you to add Pittsburgh to your travel list. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite part? And if you've been to Pittsburgh or you're from Pittsburgh and you have any recommendations, leave those down below, because we are going to plan a trip that's much longer and we're going to see so much more stuff, and I always love to hear recommendations. Okay, I will see you again soon. Bye!